All right, hell yeah, we got this piece in here. I'm just gonna kind of fully wrap, maybe seal that up. Cool. All right, hell yeah, that's looking good. And we got some overlaps. We got one crease right there, and then we have another crease right there. And so this is new, is that we got four creases. Is that I'm going to patch them right now. You know what I mean? Put protective covers over, and so we got four little pieces. We're gonna glue those up. All right, hell yeah. So those patches turned out real well. So let's see if you can see. All right, booyah. And then turn and burn. We have to really seal up this. These are just a mess. And so, I should be using like spray foam, and maybe we will. Maybe I'll throw actually, yeah, I should test that out, to just use spray foam and then adhere these, to kind of fill these in. But these little shapes, can fill that crack, but then still lay flat. And so, hell yeah, let's see what we do. All right, hell yeah, that's what I love about projects, because I keep an open mind. And as you get, I don't know, there's so many different ways to tackle stuff. But you know what I mean, when you're trying to do stuff new, and it might not be new to other people, but it might be new to you, is that you definitely want to be open to experimentation and just kind of learning new skills. So these were huge issues, and if I just used a bunch of glue and this stuff, it would have been just heavy and rigid and kind of a hard spot. And so right here, we use some of this great stuff, and kind of just working on the paper mache process. So there's like four chunks in there, and I did make them teardrop shape, and then I kind of overlap them. And so hell yeah. Now this stuff, so you're using this as glue. So you lay it in and then smush it, and then you got that glue surface. And then even as it cures, it'll pop up just a little bit. So you can kind of do technically, flatter stuff. But still, this is going to be lower density than if I built it up like that shape. And, if I did it with this and wood glue, I wouldn't have built it up. Actually, the point wasn't to build it up that much, but that just shows you how much that stuff, even when flattened, kind of expands. But one of the concrete guys that does, some of our properties, he's like, hell yeah, use this great stuff just as glue. And then so you'll even see in there, and we'll take a look at that in a sec, but we even did the perimeter. That's not going to be a full waterproof seal, but it was such a large gap and such a vulnerable spot. And, so now we have glue and a taper, and hell yeah. And this was day 2 with this bottle. And so definitely the consensus is, just use it with your finger as the trigger, wear gloves. And I was able to get another day out of it. And so you might have to actually drill into there just a little bit. I don't know how that's going to work out. You probably don't want to drill and pop it, but it kind of started coming out like that. But then I was able to get it going. And so hell yeah. And I'm going to make this a little quick because I still have some of this stuff on me. And it definitely cures fast. That is the other cool thing about this great stuff, is it cures, and so it's got a pretty quick cure time. And so, all right, hell yeah, we're looking good. We're motoring. And so I'll definitely, kind of the last thing will be wet all this stuff, but I can do that at any point. And I can even flip it over and start working on the bottom, because that was also what I wanted to do, is potentially get some paint, going on the bottom. And so, hell yeah. But we do have, I think it's just these 2 teeth. And so it's pretty exciting. All right, hell yeah. All right, booyah.